Well, welcome back, ladies and gentleladies. We have here in the studio, we let him out of the green room and finally into his proper position on the casting couch. Scott from Portal Pros, welcome back to the podcast, man. How the hell are you?
I'm good, but I'm feeling a little nervous now. Should I?
No, you're good. Well, you got the center seat on the couch, which means there's plenty of room for the plans we have later.
Yeah.
You're good.
You only need to be nervous once that door opens.
Oh, yeah. Boy. Right, now I'm just going to be eyeing the door the whole
time. You're going to be watching on the YouTube lands, watching your eye movement just constantly, getting all worried and getting all bug-eyed.
I usually sit on the couch, and every once in a while you can see the shadows under the doors moving.
Oh, yeah.
So get ready for that. That's when his head is going to be moving that way. He's going to, oh shit, here it comes.
Yeah. Who knows what Ryan has planned out there?
We never know what Ryan and the guys have planned or what's going to come through that door when it comes open when we're recording. Anyways, welcome to the studio.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you had never been here before.
Yeah, we did the remote one before.
Yeah.
And it was cool. We did a little tour, walked around, got to see the whole warehouse and everything. It was cool. Yeah.
So it's
quite impressive.
Yeah, definitely.
It's way bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah. And especially because you weren't at the previous spot.
No.
Well, how big was it? Do you remember how big the previous spot was?
2,300 square feet.
2,300. And then he's like, I'm upgrading. And it was like within a year or something like that. And I'm like, okay, so you're going to like 3, maybe 4. And what are you at now?
93.
Yeah.
93, it's 9,300 square feet out
and
there.
And it's pretty damn full.
Yeah,
like, wow.
That's way better than our shop. The garage at Matt's house.
Hey, I was there. I was in a fucking garage in a condo, an 1,100 square foot condo is where we started Morphlight at. So, and then we're almost got this place full, and there's a spot next to us that's open.
Oh.
So I went and looked at that one. It's 26,000 square feet, and I was just like, I could set up an off-road park in here. It was kind of crazy. I was like, I can't do that one. I can't go. We can't go that
way.
We
could work with Vanquish.
Right?
Yeah. And set up an RC off-road park.
Oh my God. Have people come over for RC competitions. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh my God.
That would be hilarious. Anyways, enough about us. We're talking here today about Portal Pros.
Indeed.
So you guys have been doing a lot of testing. And having a lot of fun with a Toyota.
Yeah. Well, it's not a Toyota.
It's a Toyota.
It's a Lexus.
All right. It's the better Toyota.
It's the bougie Toyota.
It has a DVD player in the back. So
so they watch They watch movies while Scott drives people around up trails.
That's how you escort people around wherever you're going.
It's so silly. It's 2004. It's way nicer than my 2015 JK. The JK is like manual windows, mirrors, all this stuff. And the Lexus has leather seats, heated seats, electric everything. And then the DVD player, it's a 7-seater. So it's got the like fold down back seat.
Third row?
Yeah. Oh my God. And it's crazy. I mean, it's 22 years old, 160,000 miles. Cosmetically, it's not the best.
It's anymore.
Well, no. Even before I got it, there's some rock chips and paint and whatever. But like driving it, it's like, oh, I see why these are so popular. Like the V8 is really nice. Like it's not crazy powerful, but it's really nice. And then just drives nice on the road. It's like the what do you call it? NVH is like really nice. So it's really quiet. I mean, especially again coming from Jeeps, like they just suck. So
you're saying that, but how many Jeeps have you owned throughout your?
Just 2.
Just 2.
I had my
Cherokee?
ZJ, the 94 Grand Cherokee, and then my JK, and that's it. Yeah. So I mean, I've had a Jeep since.
They're very utilitarian. It's like the pre 2024 Tacoma. Like it's like the Tacoma is just all utilitarian, right?
Well, it's also funny is going from my Grand Cherokee, which is the like limited edition, so 94. It also had electronic everything, it even had like this crappy little display thing that was like, your tail lights out or your doors open or whatever. Yeah. It just like, it had everything that you could get in 1994, and then I get my JK and it's like stepping back 10 years behind that thing.
Yeah.
But the JK it's better because it's newer. The Grand Cherokee, 20 years newer. It's a lot better.
There's something to be said though about having almost no electronics in your off-road vehicle.
Yeah, it is pretty nice. But the thing
I don't get that concept.
Yeah.
The funny thing is just when I have to lean over to say hi to someone out the passenger side and I have to reach over, roll the window down, and people are like, I'm sorry, what?
What are you doing?
Yeah. Like, yeah, this is the poverty edition.
It's Bobcat for you.
Yeah, right.
Well, Bobcat's a 91, so.
Except with Bobcat, you also kind of got to like pull the window down.
That's
as you
just
roll.
the driver window.
Okay.
Yeah. There's no crank on the door on the inside of the door of Bobcat.
Well, apparently on the Trail Hero X trip, Kermit's rear passenger window stopped working.
Oh, wow.
So I need to go and dig into the motors on those now. And
boy.
2 of the door locks stopped operating as well. So I just need to pull all the doors apart and dig into all those.
Fiona's passenger side front window wouldn't roll down for me.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's a switch. I need to figure that one's been acting out for a while. The motor works because I can roll it down from the driver's side, but you just had to constantly be like, Dad, can you roll my window down?
It sucked.
Are you sure you didn't just turn the child locks on?
We checked them. Anyway, so yeah, it's always been amazing to me the fancy word coming, what is that? Boggle word?
Boggle your mind.
Boggle your mind.
Juxtaposition of what Lexus does with their vehicles compared to what Toyota does with their vehicles. It's just like, how is there this much of a gap between
seriously.
the amenities in these 2 brands that are owned by the same fucking company? It's always been amazing to me at that. So you have this Lexus 470, which is essentially the 100 series Land Cruiser.
No, it's a 4Runner.
Really?
The GX 470. Well, there's the LX 470. That's the Land Cruiser, but this is a GX.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so the GX 470. So it's the same as it's basically a V8 4Runner from that, a 4th gen 4Runner. So it's
with a bougie. It's the bougie Fiona.
Yeah,
Got it.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you had a DVD player in yours and leather seats and whatever, then,
I do have a full. Supposedly, I may not have one anymore. A full leather interior owed to me for that rig, but it's a fun rig. It's amazing how much space is in that chassis and that cab.
Yeah.
So what is the GX 460 then? Is that
just the newer generation? Yeah. So the
470 is the older one. The 460 is newer.
Yeah. And apparently that just the number relates to the displacement in the engine. So 470, it's got a 4.7. 460's got a 4.6. I just learned this at Cruise Moab.
Yeah,
it was so funny. You just went to Cruise Moab, a few weeks ago, and normally going to it's gotten to a point where I go to shows and whatever. I'm like, okay, I kind of know the people. It's all really been Jeep focused. Yeah. This is the first, this is a Toyota event that you're going to. And I'm like, I don't know anyone here. And luckily one of our upcoming customers, he came out to kind of help and, whatever. And he kept introducing me to people. I'm like, this is very, it's funny. It's kind of opposite now. Cause I did feel like, like at King of the Hammers, I walk around and I could walk to a bunch of booths and say, hey, how's it going? People that I know, whatever. All these brands and companies I'm just not familiar with at all. The only ones I recognize are the NorCal ones, like Descent Off-Road or whatever. But yeah, it was very interesting being kind of like, oh wow, I'm very uncomfortable now.
There's a whole other world of off-road out here.
Yeah, it was cool because I learned a whole bunch of stuff, and then especially I feel like there's what I'm used to saying is Toyotas, which is kind of more like Bobcat,
mini
right?
trucks,
mini trucks like Northern California. We have all these shitbox Toyotas, right?
Sure.
Which I think
that.
I'm allowed to say that.
We call them raisined Toyotas. Okay? They're seasoned, all right?
Seasoned, yeah. But then you go to Cruise Moab and it's all these Land Cruiser guys. And that's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole nother thing for sure.
Yeah, because you're not buying a truck for $5,000 and then putting 10 in it. You're buying a truck for $60,000, putting 30 to 40 into it. It's yes, this is different.
Yes.
So
it's a different mentality for sure. It's just a different vibe.
Yeah. But it was cool because I feel like I know enough about Tacomas and 4Runners and the mini trucks and whatever now at this point, but I don't know much about Land Cruisers. And what's the difference in the Lexus version and the Toyota version, and a 200 series, and what are the special things about that versus a 100 versus whatever. So it was really cool to learn more about that stuff because we'd like to be in that market, and I need to learn about this stuff.
Yeah, sure.
So welcome to the light side. Finally, that's what we're trying to get to here.
It's funny now. I'm kind of riding both sides, Toyota and Jeep. So when I'm talking to someone who has a Jeep, I'm like, oh, well, you could go to the dark side and get a Toyota. And then I'm talking to someone who owns a Toyota. Well, you could go to the dark side and get a Jeep.
Yeah, that's funny. Playing both sides.
A code switch,
right.
you know?
Does that make him God? Like, what is this?
Right? That's funny. So you guys have been releasing a lot of content lately with the 470.
Yep.
How's it been working? Because you guys, obviously you made some portals for the 470.
Yes. Yep.
And the cool thing that I really like about the way you guys are doing portals is the adaptability of using the same portal box on multiple different vehicles and how you accomplished that, right? Yep. And so it makes it so you can roll out new models very quickly. And it also makes it so that you're just going to have a wider universal, like you were talking about last time, you were
modular,
the modular system, so that if somebody buys a Jeep, buys a set of portals from you guys for it, and then's like, nah, fuck this Jeep thing, I want a GX 470. They can take the portals off, buy the adapter plates, and put them on, carry them over to the next vehicle.
Exactly.
It's a really, really cool concept of modularity, universality for portals.
Yeah, it's kind of a unique thing in the industry, right? Because a lot of things are very vehicle specific, and so like a common thing on Jeeps, you buy 1-ton axles, you put them in. Well, that's not going to transfer to your next Jeep, or especially if you're trying to go to an IFS rig like that. Of course, that's not going to work. So yeah, I know that's pretty cool. And yeah, we got the portals on the GX 470. So we had our Jeep early adopters order. So that was a total of 15 sets of portals. And one of those sets was for the GX. So that was our first prototype for, ever putting on a Toyota platform. It was cool. They came like mid-December. So I drove the GX for the first time ever on portals on Christmas Day. So I had bought that GX 1 year and 1 day before, on Christmas Eve.
The year before.
Wow. So I was like, oh, this is cool. And I just drove around the block real quick. I was like, okay, I'm done. I've been working so hard to get that going. I was like, this is Christmas. I shouldn't be doing this, but I just need to drive it today. It's just cool. And then we took it out for one quick run down at Hollister, our local place, a couple weeks later. Of course, I found a jump. I jumped it. Literally the first time ever being off-road. I don't even know how we had completed the break-in period at that point. And I had also used it to deliver our first 2 sets of portals to customers. So we have a couple of customers in California.
Local,
yeah. So there was one in not quite to Sacramento. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, drove to meet him, drove partway to Fresno to meet another customer. And, it was cool to shake their hand. Here's your portals, and bring you around in the Lexus. Yeah. The Portal Lexus delivery van, which is cool.
It's the mom car. It works great.
Totally. Yep. And then we were planning
the delivery wagon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then we brought it to King of the Hammers. And actually, because I had jumped it at Hollister, I realized that the original suspension that was on it with 160,000 miles were, a little less than ideal for So I actually picked up some used TRD 2020 4Runner shocks for like $500, all 4 corners.
Nice.
And, they're like IBP 2.5 with like piggybacks on them. I'm like, for $500,
Yeah, you're like, I can resell those and double that if anything.
Exactly. So we put those on because we also knew we were going. Our buddy Patrick Perry, who owns Perry Parts, the 3D printed bump stop company, he was coming with us to drive that down there so we could bring all 3 of our portal rigs. And we're like, and he's testing, or I guess, I don't know if they're starting to ship now, but they're Gen 3 bump stops. Okay. So we have those on as his testing. We put them on. And we're like, yeah, we know he's going to drive this like a maniac at King of the Hammers. He's never been to Johnson Valley or anything.
Oh, no way.
We're turning him loose on our portal rig, that we're like, we want to see if the portals will rip off. He wants to see how well the bump stops do. And we were encouraging some bad behavior. Nice. So I was like, yeah, it's going to need some better shocks. So yeah, we get out there first night, drive up Turkey Claw.
Yep.
Really? A GX 470 on 35 all terrains. Went up Turkey Claw.
Sweet.
Had to winch just one spot, like the squeeze point, which has just got nasty. Yeah. And that's when someone in a buggy drove over the corner panel.
Oh,
so
that's
the fender got smashed. And
seriously?
Yeah. First night we had it out there. Yeah. I was stuck getting ready to winch. And this guy, rather than asking, hey, can you move out of the way? Because he drove over with the first tire. And then I backed up to get out of the way. And then he drove through. It was like, bro, you could have just said, get out of my way.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. So yeah, he smashed the headlight, crushed the corner, whatever.
Lame.
Yeah. But then, we turned it over to Pat the next couple of days and we did a little bit of rock crawling. And then we also went through some whoops, because one of the big concerns that we have is that the portals will rip off, right?
Yeah.
Like that you're mounted.
It seems like rotational leverage. Is
I mean, especially being IFS compared to we've tested the Jeep a lot, but I don't think if we have the video on YouTube, I don't think most people will ever drive their, any vehicle really as fast as Pat was driving. I mean, the rear end, he had it in the air at least 10 times. Going through whoops, not a jump. Like he was going through whoops and like the rear end would kick up in the air and then the front, it was just like, and I'm watching our vehicle go by. I'm like, oh my God, this thing's never going to be the same.
We're not going to do this all. We're not.
Well, and then it was like this third night, we took it back to Turkey Claw and then flexed it out and the airbags popped out, the rear springs, Yep. So then we were driving around with no rear springs. Oh man, just on the bump stumps, which was actually kind of great. But then he had to drive home 450 miles with no springs in the back. And I'm driving behind him sometimes, just like he just bouncing. I was like, oh, I'm so glad I'm not driving that thing right now.
So you let Pat drive it back home all the way. That's apt. That works good.
He deserved it. Yeah, exactly. But he's also our first ever Toyota customer. So as part of the early adopter batch, we got him a set. So he should have his installed in the next couple of weeks here.
Nice.
He's been super busy doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So yeah, that was the first big one.
The inaugural trip of the 470 on portals.
Yeah. And I mean,
so how did the portals hold up? We heard how the suspension held up. How did the portals hold up?
They held up great. They did help us tease out a small issue that we didn't really know about. So we're working on resolving that now, but
that's the beauty of stress testing.
Exactly. Right. And we're glad, we're finding these things out early. So yeah, that other than that, I mean, he still drove home, So right. And then after that, actually we didn't even realize that the issue, like it came up later, but I then got it prepped to go to EJS a couple months later. Because our plan was to go to EJS.
Whoa. You're going to take a Toyota to EJS?
I want to make the Jeep guys jealous. See, so
he's got to go around
and both sides.
He's got to go around with the DVD player and give Uber rides. He
switches both sides. I heard.
He's on the couch already.
The door's opening. No. Oh man, yeah. So then our plan was to bring Matt's Gladiator out, and he was towing that thing out there, and then I drove the GX out all the way, and we took Matt's dad's tow vehicle, which is a Chevy 2500, whatever. So big diesel with the truck and trailer, he's able to go 80 miles an hour the whole way. Yep. I'm just screaming trying to keep up with him.
Yeah.
So, we went 1,000 miles, averaging probably 75, 80 miles an hour. Made it out there. And then we did one trail day with just the Jeep. And then we did the trifecta, which is, what is it? Poison Spider, Golden Spike, Gold Bar Rim.
Yep.
And we were doing great. I was taking all the stupid bonus lines. Oh, and it also at this point now had a rear lunchbox locker, no front locker. And we were following, what's it called? Oh, Motobuilt was doing a run. Okay. So if you know Motobuilt, all their rigs are 40s, 42s, like long arm, coilovers. And the whole group that was with them was like 30 rigs. Same deal. Jeez. It was like average tire size was 40 inches, Yeah. And so they're just booking it, and we're following behind them, and they're doing all the bonus lines. I'm like, I think I could do some of these. Yeah, it turns out you can't. There's at least one like V notch I went up, and I'm like, I got this. And I just watched like 5 Jeeps go up it. So I'm like, how hard could it be? So I go up, and then as soon as the front right tire lifted off the ground, then I had nothing.
No drive.
So it just slid right into it. I'm like, okay, winch, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then we were.
Is that the one between like Poison Spider and Golden Spike?
It's towards. Oh no, there's the wedgie.
Yeah,
it was before that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this one is like very much an optional line. That like there's a line that goes around it, and then you just basically go straight up, and then I think another couple 100 yards, and you're at the wedgie.
Yeah. Okay.
I also did that one, and going through. If you go on that, it's like, pretty simple V notch if you just stay straight and you stay on the line. So I'm like most of the way through, and then Matt's like, well, that was boring. We should have made, and I was like, do you want me to make it more interesting? He's like, hell yeah. So I'm like 80% of the way through, I just make a hard right turn. And then the whole thing just like lurches over. I'm like, oh, this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't get it back righted because the front having no locker, it wouldn't grab, and the other tire's in the air. I'm like, oh God, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
You made it more interesting.
Yeah. It's a good photo.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think we made it through Golden Spike, did the Golden Crack. And then one of the, I don't know if it's a named obstacle, but there's kind of this like double step up thing. And you end up climbing both front and rear at the same time. And Matt made it up with the Gladiator. It took
that's called something. That's fuck. What is it called?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It has a name.
Okay, yeah. So Matt goes. He didn't get it the first time, so he winds up and just hits it. And with 40-inch tires on his Gladiator, stock shafts and everything. Is again going to the portals. Like his Gladiator is crazy. It's got armor and whatever, but stock suspension except for a spacer leveling kit in the front. 40-inch tires and portals. Yeah, and it's like. Yeah, it just works really well. I mean, I drove it over here today. I was going like 75 miles an hour on the freeway, like just chilling. It's like no big deal. Anyway, so he winds up and hits it a second time real aggressively and pops up it. And I was like, oh yeah, that's how you do it. Forgetting that the GX470 has an 8-inch ring gear. So I wind up and I'm like, okay, I'm going to make this the first time.
Does the Gladiator have 44s?
Yeah, it's the M220, so it's like an 8.8 inch ring gear or something. Yeah, those axles are very stout considering they're like technically Dana 44s. They keep getting stronger every year.
It's a beefy 44 though. Yeah, it's a pretty big 44.
Yeah. So anyway, I line up for it and I'm like, okay, Matt, is this kind of the right spot? Yeah, I think that's good. And I'm like, I know what he just did, so I'm gonna hit it.
Good to go.
And I bounced the rear end in the air, and I should have taken my foot off the throttle. I didn't realize how aggressive I hit it. Lands, tire stop, crunch, 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 crunch. Like, oh, and then, like that moment of panic. Did we just blow up a portal? We're like halfway through this trail that's another, 10 miles, 15 miles, whatever it is. Like back up. Okay, well, the fact that I can back up means it's not a portal because when those gears go, it stops. I'm like, okay, I think we're good. And I go forward again. And then it's hit the spot when the ring gear that's broken.
In the gear
like, all right, yep, the ring gear's gone. So then we're like, well, let's see if we can keep driving it. We got to make it off the trail. So he just, we winched, and then basically he just towed me up everything that was, a climb going through, or winched up or whatever. And we made it off the trail, and then we drove back into town still with the ring gear in pieces.
So did you go all the way through Gold Bar as two?
Yeah.
Or
yeah, we didn't turn around. Yeah, we just kept, because I think at that point it was closer. I don't know. We were pretty close to halfway, but maybe a little bit past. But it's certainly easier going that way, right? Yeah. So we went through, and the ring gear was in pieces. And
did you winch up the waterfall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was like, did he pull you up the waterfall?
No. Yeah, we just went onto the hook and pulled it up.
Looking for my leaf spring?
Yep.
We were on the run with a couple people that had been there for your leaf spring.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? That's funny. Did they make comments about, hey, that's where Tyler's rig was right there?
This is where we spent a long
6 hours.
Yeah, it was a guy with a red FJ Cruiser.
That's
his name.
My God, that's our good buddies from Oregon, P&W.
Yeah, okay.
I want to say Robert, but it's
not. No, it's not Robert. He's gonna make fun of me now.
Yeah.
No, I'm blanking on his name. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So they were telling me, and I'm like, well, we didn't get off the trail till. Oh wait, no. Now I'm mixing. Sorry. Now I'm mixing two stories up. 2 weeks later at Cruise Moab, he was on the run.
Gotcha.
He was not EJS.
Okay. Gotcha.
So the plan was we were going to leave the GX out there, and we had arranged with Cliffhanger Rentals, we do Jeep rentals, that we were going to store it there. And they brought it out during the day and parked it out in front so people drive by, see the Portal Pros, and so I'm like, okay, well now I don't have the ring gear's broken. This thing's supposed to stay out here for 10 days. What am I going to do? And trying to go through the scenarios of, okay, we could tow it. We have the trailer. We could bring it back on the trailer, and then I have to figure that out when I get home, and whatever. So I'm like, oh, let me see if I can make some calls. So I don't know if you guys know the GXOR Facebook group, GX Off-Road.
Yep.
They are very active and they are very friendly. And so I knew a couple guys there in the Salt Lake City chapter or the Utah chapter, but live in Salt Lake City. Start making calls. Hey, let me make some, text some people, whatever. By the time we were aired up, we had a full rear diff with the same gearing on its way from Salt Lake City to Moab. Nice. And I received it at my hotel at like 10:30 p.m.
Wow.
So
that's impressive.
And it was the guy, he said, I think his name's Troy. He's like, yeah, it's just my spare. So you don't have to buy it or anything. Just use it. And then either send me a replacement, or if you end up swapping in whatever, just send it back. So yeah, then we got that swapped in Saturday. So before we left for home, GX was back in one piece.
Wow.
You know,
That's a great thing about dropout thirds, man.
it is cool. Yeah. And we also went to Grandpa's garage to replace it,
Yeah.
which
cool.
I had never been there except for
I
like,
still haven't been to Grandpa's
Oh, really?
garage.
I haven't been there either.
It's legendary.
yeah,
though.
it's really cool. And his name's Danny is the one that owns it. And he just hangs out, smokes cigarettes and chats with you while you repair your stuff, you know? But I had never been there except for 2 nights before. We went for like a EJS
One of the
industry.
parties.
Yeah, right. So we kind of knew where it was and we're like, well, let's go back and do it. You know, that's part of the experience of being in Moab is, you know, getting to work there. So yeah, we've replaced that and then brought the third member back with us, and Dave Pfeiffer for, you know, SRC. He's like, well, just drop it off when you get back here and I'll work on it. Thinking, okay, I'll get it back in a month. I'll just, you know, wheel on the one that I have, whatever.
Sure.
No, I come back to Sacramento a week later to drive out for Cruise Moab. And he's like, oh yeah, it's already done. Just come pick it up. So,
Nice.
So then I picked up my original diff with some used gears that he got, you know, and drove back out to Moab for Cruise Moab. And then,
So I remember you breaking the diff out at EJS, and I contacted you. I'm like, I got a third member, but you know, like either you need to get back here or we need to figure this out. And you're like, no, dude, I'm good. We already got one coming. I'm like, love this community.
yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It was rad.
Yeah, the fact that I think we broke at 3 p.m. We're off the trail at 7 and already had it on its way. It's like, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, then I picked up the diff from Dave, and I wanted that one back in because it had the lunchbox locker in it. And, you know, I was signed up for some fairly hard trails and for Cruise Moab. So I'm like, God, it'd be nice to have a locker. And I drove back out there, went to Cliffhanger, borrowed their shop. It swapped the diff again. So the one that we rented got 5 miles put on it before we swapped it back out.
Nice.
And then did 3 days of trail runs at Cruise Moab. And the third day we were sponsoring that one and did the trifecta.
Okay.
And so that's why we did it originally, was to kind of pre-run. So I knew what I was getting into.
Got it.
Yeah.
So we got to the spot where I broke and I'm like, we're taking it real easy, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I am not bouncing up this. If we need to stack rocks, winch, I don't care. I am not doing this again. But yeah, it was super fun doing that. And then, yeah, I had the tow. I brought the truck and trailer so that I could tow the Lexus back because, yeah, and didn't have a ride back.
Right.
Yeah.
Because someone didn't.
Hey, Jimmy.
Sorry. What did I do?
Well, that was also funny, right? It was like, what, 2 days before we were supposed to leave. So I was supposed to ride out with
Sean,
yeah.
Morflate Sean.
And he texted Tyler and I on Sunday. We were supposed to leave Tuesday, I think.
It was early Tuesday morning, like 5 a.m. or something like that.
Yeah. And so he texted us on Sunday morning. He's like, hey, I'm sick. I don't know if I'll be able to go. And then we're like, okay, well, we'll check in tomorrow, see how you're feeling next day. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty terrible. It's not. So then Tyler and I chat. It was like, okay, well, I guess I'll have to figure out my own ride to get 1,000 miles out to Moab.
Yeah.
But luckily Matt has a truck and trailer. So I just called him up and was like, hey man, I'm coming to get the truck.
Yeah.
Like, can you set it up for me?
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
you got an Airbnb, a whole thing all to yourself too.
Well, that's the other thing, right? I'm like, oh, am I going to change accommodations like one day before? You know? Yeah. Oh man, that place was really nice too.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was pretty new. I mean, couldn't have been built more than 5 years ago. Like it was,
wow.
Well, it was in a weird spot. It's like, pretty far south of town. And
it was like south of the arena too.
Yeah.
Really?
South of the arena.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, it was in like the industrial park. So it's like rental shop, off-road shop, rental shop. And then there's like,
was it down next to Tow Meter? I know he's fairly well south of town too, but I never looked at the exact location of where that Airbnb was.
He's farther south.
Okay.
It's kind of, what trail did we do that we came out that way? I think Steelbender, if you know where the exit of Steelbender is, that is farther south. So we had to come back. But yeah, I showed up at like, 11 p.m. or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this cannot be the right address. You know, like when like, like Airbnbs are always like, don't follow Google Maps, and I'm like, I'm turning on an industrial park. Like, there's no way this is right. And I like, look, I'm like, I guess it seems right. And pull down. And then it's like a laundromat, some other store. And then the condos are part of that building. So I'm like, this is very confusing. And I'm so tired, But yeah, the place was really nice. And it was very silly having it all to myself.
Yeah.
Including the master bedroom had, a giant shower with two faucets pointing
right.
towards each other. Yeah.
Sent me a picture of the shower.
You're
You're
going to put 10 people in there for sure.
Sounds fun.
all right.
Yeah. It was pretty funny.
We'll do an industry party at that condo next year and make
clothing optional.
Couch is coming.
Couch, take that out there too.
Now I'm checking the door again. So that was the latest one. And then, thankfully no events or nothing to note.
So
breaking down.
Interesting note about the 470 and the 460, the Lexus or the GX. The rear ends they put in those vehicles were the 8-inch.
The 460, they upgraded the 8.2.
They did go to the 8.2 because the 4Runner, I believe those years had the 8.2, the 8.2 in it. And then they put the 8-inch in the Lexus and used the bigger ring gear for the 4Runners.
My understanding after doing this research is basically everything up to 2009, the 4Runners and the GXs were using the 8-inch and the FJs. And then in 2010, they switched to the 8.2 on all of them, including the FJ. So what's interesting, I was researching this. People were recommending doing an FJ Cruiser with an automatic transmission, I think, has 373 gears in it, and it's a direct bolt-in. It's a full rear axle. So it was like, oh, if you could find one of those, and they come with a factory locker as well.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I haven't found one yet. So, but yeah, so I don't know.
Okay.
And then you can also, if you're crafty, you can make the 8.2 third member work in the 8-inch housing by moving some of the studs that hold the third member in.
Okay.
Like 4 studs need to be adjusted or something like that. So anyway, I started looking at that, and then someone was like, "Dude, don't bother. You're gonna blow those 8.2s up. Like you just, I'm like, okay."
Well, and from what I need to do more research on this because it's sort of like this gray cloud of information.
Yeah.
I think the 8.2 is still an 8-inch ring and pinion. It just has a beefier carrier.
Oh,
the carrier and the bearings are a little bit bigger. The bearing packs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the right answer is.
Yeah.
I kind of want to just get a Ford 9-inch.
Or the Land Cruiser 9.5.
Yeah,
that 9.5 is a pretty sweet diff.
Yeah. I like the idea of doing the Ford just because you have so many options, and there's
wide world of 9 inches.
Yeah, exactly.
Wonderful world of 9 inch.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. We'll see. We're going to run it as it is now. And
I know a really great way to make a 10.5-inch Tundra axle. You want to put that in there?
Actually, I did see. I forget what the name of the.
You got all the clearance in the world. I mean, who cares about having a bigger ring gear?
Yeah, it's true. I saw on Marketplace.
You probably eliminate all that clearance by throwing that big ring gear
back to stock.
Back to stock.
It's only what is it? We have it listed there. Your rear diff is 12.25 inches off the ground on 37s.
Okay,
and Kermit is 12.5. So it's
with 40
on 40s.
Okay. On 40. So I have a 1/4 inch more clearance.
Yeah.
Than with the Toyota 8-inch on
3-inch larger tires, 1.5-inch larger tires when you
but I mean that tells you it is pretty good.
It's pretty wrapped up in there.
I did see a Sterling 10.5 from a Super Duty on Marketplace with 373 gears and a factory e-locker, and I was like, that could work.
Yeah.
It'll be overkill, but it'd be cool.
That'd be fun. Go big or go home.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. Running is it a 7.5 in the front?
I think it's an 8-inch.
8-inch in the front and a 10.5-inch in the rear.
Yeah, it might be a little off balance at that point with that big old axle back there.
Unsprung weight is fun, especially when you're as wide as you are with the portals. So get girthy and more unsprung weight, man.
Right. Well, it sounds like you've been stress testing the vehicle a lot.
Definitely.
You've been having some fun.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like. And all the stories you told us talked about how you broke the vehicle, but you actually didn't break the portals.
Yeah.
So that I think that's a great news
definitely
right
good
there.
sign. Yeah.
So are they available for Toyotas yet?
Yeah. Well, so yes, with the caveat, they're not here yet. Okay. So we have our next batch we're going to have 14 total for sale, of which either 11 or 12 are spoken for already.
Wow.
So we'll have 2 available. Yeah, I know, right? It's amazing. And so those are going to be here July, August kind of time frame.
Okay.
So they're coming up pretty soon.
So what all vehicle applications do they fit on? Because your guys' vehicle application is really dependent on the unit bearing, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So
the big thing is, what is the unit bearing pattern, and then what stub shaft do you have in the front to match the input gear?
Gotcha.
So in the front, we match whatever the OEM was. So like the Jeeps are 32s, the Toyotas are 30s. Although I think the diameter is actually bigger with the 30 spline Toyota ones, which is weird. And then in the rear, we do a 35 spline into the portal, no matter what. So that's always the same. So the applications we're doing right now are the 4th gen and 5th gen 4Runners. So 2003, 2004?
I think 2004 is when the 4th gen started.
Yeah, so up to 23 or 24. Nice. And then Tacoma is 2nd gen and 3rd gen, so 2005, 2006, whenever that starts, to 23.
Yep.
FJ Cruisers, the whole run, GX470 and GX460. And I think that's all of them. Yeah.
That's a lot of the market though.
Yeah. I mean, that's 20 years of vehicles, you know? So,
sure.
That's what we're offering right now. And then we also got talked into doing a 200 series Land Cruiser. So we're going to have one customer on that. That applies to, the Land Cruiser, the LX 570, and the 2nd gen Tundra and 2nd gen Sequoia. I think they're all the same.
Okay.
So yeah, there's another 15 years of vehicles across 4 different platforms,
Wow.
So we have, just the one customer right now, and that's going to be kind of a prototype. He's going to help us figure. He's actually the guy that was with me at Cruise Moab. So he's big Land Cruiser guy. So that's all we have right now. And then we also, on the Jeep side, it's still the JK, JL, JT. And then we learned that the TJ front axle the knuckle is basically the same in terms of like what we care about. Okay. So we're going to have a customer with an LJ with TJ axles as well. And he's going to weld on an adapter plate in the rear. So we don't have to worry about that as much. Our modular design is really coming in handy where it's like, there's actually not that many things to figure out, The biggest thing is, I don't know, maybe the biggest risk of doing a new application is things like the ABS, with the new Toyotas, I've heard that there's some challenges around that. And, as the computers get more and more complicated, more and more picky, if you mess something up there, that becomes problematic. So, and then I don't know where we're going to go from there, but we're,
I mean, with that application, those 2 applications on the Toyota side, all the work you guys have done with the Jeep stuff, you're going to be covering 90% of the off-road market for the past 20, 25 years.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think, from there, I think it's just a matter of growing the company.
For sure.
Once you have that foundation of your product stuff. So
for sure. So that's kind of what we're looking at, basically doing this batch, delivering, like I said, around August, and then ordering a small amount of inventory going into early 2027. And then we'll see where it goes from there. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's awesome. That's rad.
Yeah, so it's pretty wild.
Last time we had you on, we talked about the cost comparisons of going with just portals versus doing a full-on build, right?
Yep.
And it was super eye-opening to see that difference. And so now that you have the Toyota stuff getting covered, what's the most popular thing right now for suspension building a Toyota for fully capable, I don't want to say over the top build, but something that's going to be super, super capable, that's going to be able to do 90% of anything out there that people are going to want to do.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like the RCLT kit from Marlin Crawler is kind of like the baseline that people compare to. If you're
turning into the standard.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of long travel kits out there. And I think if you want to go fast, I don't know if the RCLT is the best for that. But in terms of ground clearance and design for big tires and rock crawling, as far as I understand, that's the kit to go to.
Yep.
And so, that was what we wanted to use as kind of a baseline of comparison for the more extreme build. If you want to run like 37s or 40s, I did also do a comparison if you were having a more mild build, kind of like we did with the Jeeps.
Okay.
1-ton swap versus just upgrading your Dana 44s. So we can jump into.
I want to dig into this. I'm curious how this turns out.
You can scoot this over. And
you can scoot everything
adjust as needed.
So you can start with the mild build, and I should stipulate mild build still means full build. So it's not like,
it's still not like most people's full build.
Yeah, it's not a 2-inch lift kit and, some crappy used tires that you bought on Marketplace, right? It's still pretty significant. So In the quote unquote traditional build, meaning the non-portal build, and you want to run like 33s or 35s, I picked a lift kit from AccuTune that's kind of like a mid, like you get some Fox 2.0s, 2.5s, I don't know, upper control arm, and then replacement leaf springs or coils in the back.
Okay.
So that's $4,000. You're buying gears, $1,200. So you're re-gearing. I'm assuming you're going to want to go to some RCV axle shafts. Those are $2,500. That's
you're probably going to want to upgrade your axle shafts.
That's maybe debatable, but if you want to be worry free, you're certainly buying those.
Mm-hmm.
Rear axle shafts as well, like the chromoly axle shafts. Assuming a rear drive shaft, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's debatable.
If things get moved around.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. So, I'm not sure about that one.
Okay, we'll just take it off then.
I mean, you don't necessarily need a
offline. So
you're offline.
Yeah.
We'll subtract the
whatever
out.
And then knuckle gussets or an axle truss. Well, I think I just have $100 for the knuckle gussets, and then install, and we have labor as well. So $2,400. I'm assuming $200 an hour, just because this is what I'm used to paying for labor in the Bay Area. So
sure.
I mean, we're probably the most expensive place in the country.
I think most off-road shops are pretty average, 150 to 200.
Yeah. So maybe this is a little on the high end, but
not far off.
Yeah. So I'm assuming like $2,400 for lift kit, re-gear, $2,600, just because the IFS clamshell ones, I think they charge you a bit more for those. Axle shaft install, drive shaft again, we can delete that one. So total parts, I'm saying $9,200 for the full, mild build, lift kit, all that stuff. And then about $5,800 in labor. So I guess minus about $800 total because of the drive shaft that I was having here. So, calling it about, let's say $14,000 out the door installed.
Mm-hmm.
And then comparing that to the portal build, we just have, so we skip the lift kit, gears, axle shafts, all that stuff. We do the knuckle gussets, portals for $15,000, and then labor to install the axle truss. Oh, I didn't even include that on whatever. But I'm assuming like 3 hours to install axle truss.
Take out the $600 there.
Yeah, knuckle gussets, because we don't provide replacement knuckles.
Okay.
And then $1,600. I'm assuming about 8 hours in labor for installing the portals.
Okay.
Which again we can attest to. Just yesterday, I was installing portals on Matt's dad's Jeep, and with a real casual pace, we got like 80% through it in maybe 7 hours, something like that. And we were chit chatting and talking with, So it was, you can definitely do it at a shop in 8 hours.
Okay.
Labor total being $2,200. So you're out the door, $15,100 for parts and $17,000 total for parts and labor. So if you're doing the mild build, if you're doing and you're having someone else do it, you are paying a little bit more. So it's $15,000 versus $17,000.
Okay.
So, and then you don't have portals. So
you're still missing the extra ground clearance.
Extra ground clearance. Yeah. And then, I mean,
and you probably can't fit as large as tires.
Correct. Yeah. So running a 35, there's probably going to be some other work you're going to have to do as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And also the time and, effort to put them in and then the transferability, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the other thing is this is assuming not a long travel kit. So with the portals, because you're pushing the wheel mount surface out, you're technically getting some amount of long travel. I don't like to say that it's a long travel kit because don't go sending it through the desert like we did.
I
don't recommend it.
Mid travel.
Yeah. But your control arms are effectively just getting longer. So it does seem to flex quite well, at least going slow.
Okay.
And so we have a difference there of, so we take out, what was that $600 and the $200 for the labor on it. So we're looking at 14,000 roughly for parts and labor on your mild build, everything. And that 600 taken out for the axle truss. Or were you still going to include that on the portal side too?
On the portal, yeah.
Okay, so 17,000. So you got a difference of about $3,000.
Yeah.
And you have portals that you can transfer between vehicles later on. It's a nice investment.
Right.
And all the extra benefits that come with them. You get the ground clearance you're not getting with the other one too. So
certainly if you're trying to do Northern California rock crawling trails, the benefits of the portals
for sure.
I mean, it's crazy.
And you can run a bigger tire because you don't have, I mean, technically with you're on 35s right now on the 470, but you have enough room in there to go to 37s, 38s without too much work.
Yeah. I think if we'd have to shift around like where the control arms are at right now, it is rubbing a little bit on the cab mount. And we did do a chop already. So, but we also have the control arms, to have the camber set correctly. They're adjusted all the way in. So it's like as far as worst possible, case scenario for clearance to the body. So if we had an adjustable upper control arm or whatever, we could play with that a little bit more. But that's where we're at right now.
Okay.
So certainly you could go to 37s. It would just be a little bit more, finagling.
Yeah, but I think it feels like it'd be less finagling than having to do like a cab mount relocate and everything that you'd have to do on.
That's not trivial. Okay. Yeah, the cab mount shot's pretty easy compared to moving it.
Okay. Cool.
That's on a Tacoma. Do you have any experience putting them on Tacomas yet?
Not yet. No. Okay. So that'll be that first batch.
Yeah. Because my concern is that with the scrub radius, it's going to be.
And that's
quite
the thing.
Horrific.
We're going to have to learn. See, you say that. And then, so on the scrub radius for our existing setup, we're just using the stock Toyota wheels. So they're like plus 25 millimeter offset, I think.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
And it's crazy jumping that and sending it through whoops with the stock cast wheels. So plus 25 millimeter offset. So we literally just pushed the wheel out 4 inches, as opposed to what we would kind of normally compared to centered wheels, because that's pretty typical centered or maybe slightly negative offset for off-road rigs. But
you're not just putting the wheel out 4 inches. You're also
pushing it forward. Yeah, down. So I will say, like, I think this is one of the big concerns, and I would almost say misconceptions of portals, is that, your scrub radius is where steering is going to be terrible.
Sure.
And the reality is with, going 1-to-1, it is not bad at all. And I mean, doing all this off-roading, I'm not feeling like, oh man, I'm really struggling with the steering or anything like that. I mean, I haven't had a front locker, so I'm sure that'll feel different, but that's true regardless, or regardless portals, right? So, and if anything, honestly, the GX, I would say drives on the road better than it did before, because I think we're getting a little bit wider, so that just adds a little bit of stability. But also because you're pushing the wheel down, so your mechanical trail is getting a little bit longer. Which is to say your geometry is becoming more stable. So because I don't know if this is true on like all Toyota SUVs, but driving that GX when it was stock on the highway, it always needed a little bit of input because they don't have much caster angle. It's like 3 or 4 degrees from the factory, something like that. So I'd be driving on the highway straight and it's like just always a little bit of, steering input. I think it's less driving with the portals and 35s. Yeah. Wow. Which is, I mean, again,
it's faking caster for you kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, because caster, what it comes down to is mechanical trail. Yeah. Where do the line of the ball joints hit the ground when the tire, what's the separation between those 2 points? Yep. And by pushing this down, now that line keeps traveling further down and the tire's way back here.
I got it.
So, interesting. And that's why, like, if you look at like motorcycles, especially like choppers or whatever, they'll have a ton of offset from the center of the axle to the fork. It's to make up for that, so it's not horrible to steer. Yeah. So this is kind of it's not. It's just adding more mechanical trail.
Mechanical trail to your caster angle.
Mechanical trail is literally, so if you draw the line from the ball joints, your caster line basically through the ball joints to where that hits the ground, the measurement from that point to where the tire
makes contact.
Yeah, that's mechanical trail. So when that gets longer, it's harder to steer. It's more stable.
Yeah.
Or not maybe harder to steer, but more stable.
It's more. It'll drive in a straight line.
Yeah, more easier. Yeah. And that's the same as adding more caster. Yeah. That's basically what caster is doing, is just increasing your mechanical trail.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was pretty surprised. Like I drove, I was like, shit, this thing drives better on the highway than it used to. It's got 35s, and then even crazier too, it still gets the same gas mileage. It's like, I went from, whatever the stock tires are, 31 inches. I was getting
35s.
12, 13 miles a gallon with that old V8. Still get 12, 13 miles a gallon.
Yeah.
On the way out to Moab, going 80 miles an hour, is getting 12 miles a gallon.
That's awesome.
It's like, okay,
Yeah. So, my concern or my fear is because going from whatever 29, 31 inch tires on stock Tacoma up to 33s, you're already rubbing the body.
Oh, okay.
And there's a few tricks that I've learned to like solve that problem. Yeah. Like a 3/4 inch wheel spacer and setting making sure you have the right rim set up. And yeah. And so going on stock application, going up to 35s, you have to do a body mount check.
Okay. Yeah.
And so it's going to be interesting to see how it works with the portals.
Yeah.
Because you're making the scrub radius bigger, but you're also lowering it. So you might get the clearance due to the
and it's
how
it's
a
gonna
tire
also
is
be,
round, right?
Yeah, and then the other thing I've been told is people will adjust the lower control arm cam tabs, so the rear one is all the way pushed out and the front one is always all the way pushed in, and that moves the axle or the wheel forward a little bit. In my case, again, they're both all the way in, which again is the worst case for tire clearance. So it's getting a little bit of rub at like full stuff, turned. Yeah. But it's, it's enough to take the paint off my crappy spray paint job, but it's like no big deal. It's not chunking the tire or anything like that. So, so I think, fitting 37, it's just probably going to be a little bit more work we'll learn. And it's also going
to be a lot more work, I think, otherwise without the portals.
Right. So, and then we'll also have, we're going to offer our own wheels. So we'll have those pretty soon that are plus 50 millimeter offset. So with that actually might help as well, because now the tire's not swinging as much because we are improving the scrub radius, so or reducing the scrub radius. So that might solve it, which will be interesting to see. But just haven't had a chance to put them on yet because we haven't gotten them yet. So pretty excited to get those on.
Nice,
cool.
All right. Okay, cool. So let's take a look at the extreme build then.
Extreme build. So we're going to talk more or less an RCLT, the Marlin Crawler long travel kit versus Portal Pros.
Yep. And so this is again assuming you're running 37 or 40 if you're really feeling crazy. So for the lift kit, I was just double checking this morning. They've actually come down in price quite a bit for the RCLT kit. So it used to be like 8 or 9, like just for the parts for the RCLT. Now it's about $6,000, and then you add the MARRAC, which I'm just going to cancel that one out because you probably wouldn't. It'd be great to have that in the portal rig anyway. So canceling that out.
Fair.
That doesn't include the shocks. So the shocks are about $2,000 from what they recommend, the Radflow shocks. And then I was looking up AccuTune's rear suspension kit. So about $9,500 to do total, suspension and
just in parts for RCLT on everything.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And then on the portal, I'm assuming, I guess I won't go to the portal build yet. And then buying gears. So in this case, I'm assuming that you're replacing the full rear axle. So just buying front gears only. And then front axle shafts, same deal, the RCVs for $2,500. In this case, I am going to say rear drive shaft because we're going to replace the rear axle. So that won't work anymore.
So is that a normal thing you have to do when you do RCLT? You have to redo put in a new rear axle?
You don't have to, but just those Toyota axles, you want to run 40s. I feel like you should, I don't know. Maybe this is
that's fair. This is the extreme build.
Extreme
so you're
build,
going to want to beef up from the Toyotas if you're going to be going 38s, 40s. So.
And so I'm assuming East Coast Gear Supply does this drop-in Dana 60.
That's a nice axle setup.
Yeah. So like full bolts in Dana 60 and it's sweet. So there are certainly more expensive options out there, but I think like your bang for your buck for that thing is really good.
I agree.
It's like some of the fabricated 9-inch axles, you're talking $8-9 or whatever. So I don't know. I'd be happy with a rear Dana 60, so yeah, that's $5,600.
Okay.
They charge you for the gear oil that comes with that. And then, so getting into labor, assuming like $6,000 for the lift kit, all that stuff, the re-gear, drive shaft install, aftermarket axle install. So all in all, parts for the extreme build, I'm saying about $19,000, and then parts and labor about $28,000.
Wow.
So I don't know. That feels about right to me. If you're dropping off a shop and said, "Hey, I want all this stuff," and this is ignoring armor and bumpers and all that stuff.
This is just drivetrain, suspension, axles.
Yeah, this is the difference between what you would get for your build. Yeah, like you're going to want armor on both the builds.
Yeah. You're not going to need a winch with the portals, but no. As I've already proven, that's not true.
As we just talked about V notches.
And then going to the portals. I'm going to assume that you're going to replace the lower control arms and probably the upper control arms. I think that was the price of $3,000 for new control arms.
Okay.
And then, knuckle gussets and a rear axle truss.
Okay.
And then $15,000 for the portals. So installing the lift kit, because you're just doing just the control arms, about $1,000.
Now you don't have a rear axle listed on the portal build. Why is that?
Because you don't need it because the reduction. Well, unless
Exactly.
you have an 8-inch and a V8. But that's if you have like the newer Tacoma, especially right with the 8.75 or whatever.
Are they in 3/4 gear?
Yeah. Like I'm assuming you could run 40s and portals on that and be perfectly happy. I've just got the worst possible combination of motor and axle. Just a well-known thing. So not replacing the full axle, but I am saying axle truss. And then we also provide with the portal kit, rear axle shafts. So because you're converting to a full float. So you're going to a 35 spline into the portal and then matching the 30 spline going into the diff. Stock diff. But if you do want to upgrade to a 35 spline ARB, you could go 35 spline, which is actually what I have in my JK now. So, then you're just like stupid strong at that point, right?
Yeah, seriously.
Of course, then again, depends on how strong those ring gears are. I don't know.
It's where's your fuse?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yep.
Hopefully it's not between your transfer cases.
And then it's installing the knuckle gussets and axle truss. I'm saying $1,000, and then portals again 8 hours, $1,600 to install that. So total for parts on the portal build in this case 18,000. So pretty similar to the extreme build.
Yeah.
But then when you're out with labor, it's about 22,000. So at that point you're talking about a $6,000 delta. And really just it's all in that labor difference. So
there's just a lot more shit to put on.
Yeah, and you got to have more skills, right? Like more fabricating and welding, grinding, cutting, all that stuff. That you wouldn't necessarily have to have with the portal
setup.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
So I think hopefully this is a fair comparison. I know this is why I like talking to you guys about it because I'm still like kind of new to the Toyota world and kind of feel like I'm pulling stuff out of my ass sometimes. So, the fact checkers here can
all the listeners out there.
Yeah.
As from our last episode, we know.
No comment.
Yeah. Have you ran into them since?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what we're talking about. I'm gonna have to remind me off air.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think for the rough talk, I think that's that's great. I think that's fair we're talking. We're in the clouds here, talking to trying to figure out how things are. What it comes down to is if you're once again, which was similar in the last one, right? If you're looking to do just a moderate build, it's
still a really good option.
It's still a good option.
You're going to be paying more for the portals.
Be paying more.
Yeah, there are upsides that you don't get from the suspension route. But if you're saying pure dollars, the portals are going to cost more.
The thing is, though, that with portals, it's easier to install.
Yep.
There's less things you need to change on your vehicle, and you gain the ground clearance.
Yeah.
Right. And
the gear reduction and
that's sort of what I meant by there's less things you need to change on your vehicle. You don't need to change the gears. You don't have to pull the gears out or have somebody do all that work for you, right? You don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Right. So it might cost a few $1,000s more, but it's all in all, it's easier.
Yeah. For
right.
Sure.
But if we're just talking dollars to dollars, it is slightly cheaper on a mild build. But once again, we're proving that it's about the same or like significantly cheaper if you're excluding labor, if it's something you can do by yourself, way cheaper to have portals.
Yeah.
And to
that point, right? Like
wild build.
We designed them to be able to be installed in your driveway. You can basically go to Harbor Freight, pick up, if you don't have a floor jack, you're like maybe $50 worth of tools, $80 worth of tools. If you do have a floor jack, if you don't have a floor jack, $300, at Harbor Freight. Like we literally use Harbor Freight tools for like all our trail stuff, whatever. And we design them also to be able to be replaced on the trail because anything happens, right? So like, I mean, if you have some jack stands, a floor jack and some, buddies come over, you could do it in a weekend, no problem. It was cool even just yesterday with Matt's dad. And then we had John Herrick from Call Magazine coming over to shoot and see the install and whatever. He kept going, oh, that's it? Like, he's like, this is very complicated and you guys made it like pretty straightforward,
So that's awesome. You talked earlier about going and doing a portal install on Matt's dad's Jeep in about 7 hours at a pretty lackadaisical pace. You guys were shooting magazine content while doing that?
Yeah. Taking pictures.
And you got it pretty much done. So that That's pretty good. Dude, Jimmy and I always joke around about it. Whenever we're having to do a video or Jimmy's shooting something while trying to do work on a vehicle, it takes 5 times as long. It's
about,
That's what, when we did the first ever install for the install video for the Jeeps, we showed up at the shop at about 8:30 in the morning, and we did it in a shop. So we had a lift and everything. But we did shoot the video and it rolled in. We had to tear everything out. So that's part of it. And then I think we left it by 6 p.m. So, 8:39 in the morning we started. We're done by 6 p.m. The customer's driving home while we shot the video.
Yeah, the whole install video too.
Yeah. Now we had, professional mechanic helping us do the tear down, and we basically did the one side, the passenger side, shot the video, and then he just watched us. And then went and did the other side. So it's funny. Yeah. It would take us, 2 hours, 3 hours to get the front portal on, whatever. He walks over a half hour. He's got it ready to go. All right. Yeah. We get it. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, this is at a shop that these guys do a lot of like custom fab stuff and whatever. So bolting on portals is like snooze fest.
Yeah. But that's cool. That speaks, I think, paramount to the design that you guys have been able to come up with and introduce into the portal industry here.
Yeah.
So
and it really stems from our experiences driving ship boxes. We're breaking all the time, like my ZJ, Matt's XJ. And every time you go to work on something on the trail and you're like, damn, this is, it's great to work on on a lift or whatever, but oh man, this is a pain in the ass. Now we're laying on the dirt, figuring this out. So that really is like the core of it. Is we are expecting at some point, someone will have to take a portal off, potentially have to rebuild it on the trail. And that's what we keep showing in our videos that, you can do this,
Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
The point is that it is stupid simple. You can be on the trail and not be pissed cussing at us when you don't have cell service, because you're going, oh, it's very obvious the way this comes apart. I don't need the instructions to double check,
Well, and then in some extent, maybe we should exclude labor on there, because you should probably install this yourself so that while you're out on the trail,
although apparently you blow out your airbag suspension and everything else before you even have to touch the portals on the trail. The ring gears.
We've been talking about at some point we want to do an install on the Rubicon Trail.
That'd be fun.
I'm going to bring a stock vehicle out, bring out everything, and at the beer tree.
Beer tree down in the middle of the bowl, do it. That would be really cool.
I've talked to the sheriffs out there, and they're like, dude, let us know. We'll come out and hang out. And I was like,
so Jimmy and I really want to go down to Beer Tree on like a busy weekend and just hand out Pormosas to people.
So let us know when that's happening. We'll be there providing drinks.
We're most of the way through, and then we can't stand up anymore. Then the portal install is challenging.
Well, that's the great thing about Pormosas.
Did he just say we're Pormosa the way through?
To answer your question from earlier, I do have a joke apparently.
Yeah. That's the great thing. We did a Pormosas at the work party this weekend, and I had like 6 of them, 7 of them, something like that. And it's only equivalent of like 2 Coors Lights. Because it's a 50-50 mix, right? You can just, they're great, refreshing, you keep going, and you don't get anything out of them.
Unlike a Bloody Mary, which has a few shots inside of it.
No kidding. So, oh man.
Anyways, let us know when you do that.
And
Jimmy and I will come down and provide drinks for everybody.
I'll get the Sunny D. He'll bring the Coors Light. We'll bring the party.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so maybe the casting couch.
We got to find it.
That would be great.
That would be actually, what's that old like movie series, Science Theater or
Science Mystery Theater.
You guys could just be there commenting, throwing stuff at us.
Oh God, that would be amazing.
We would need to shoot it from behind, so it's just as our silhouettes.
All right, we have a plan. We're doing this.
I am in. We're no longer handing out Sunny D though. Now we're just
throwing them at him.
You need a drink? That would be funny. All right, I have an off the wall question. Because you got me thinking about the LJ that has TJ axles. Does the XJ have TJ axles under it?
Yep.
So you would start covering the XJ market as well.
Yeah, we're trying to decide what specific axles there, because those came with a few different rear axles.
Sure.
So we're doing a Dana 44 rear right now, but I think the mounting surface is all the same. So yeah, I think we'll be potentially here's the question though, is do we want to make portals for Dana 35s?
I mean, it would take stress off the Dana. It might help the Dana 35 live through a couple trails. I mean, you like
just, I don't know. Yeah. This is where it comes back. People ask us for every application and we have to filter, right? Like Toyota mini truck axles. People ask me, I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We'll just snap them in half. Right. Like the knuckleballs will snap right off. Right. Like,
you need a lot of gussets on the knuckleballs.
Yeah. And
so what about the FJ80 axles?
Yeah. That's another one.
Because those are bigger, man.
Yeah. That's
FJ80's got big balls.
Don't make me put Jeep axles underneath my truck.
You can put Ford axles under. How long until the Super Duty version?
Yeah, that's
comes
what
out?
I was going to ask.
Okay, this is actually a good topic because a lot of people have been asking for those, and I'd say we're just scared of those. Like we designed these
Super Duty.
Yeah, like your average Super Duty rock crawler person is different than your average JK JL owner. And we're saying our warranty covers up to 40-inch tires right now. We assume as soon as we say, oh yeah, Dana 60, 14 bolt, whatever, people are going to put 43-inch stickies on them with 600 horsepower and they're going to go blow them up and they're going to be pissed at us. And we're going to be like, well, we said 40-inch tire warranty. And they're like, yeah. You know, and it's like
DOT tires
you just
too.
You just need to do more testing now.
Yeah. So it's something that is on our mind. We're not sure if this is the platform, like meaning our portals is the right thing. Or do we have to have the ultra monster
Super Duty version?
Right. Yeah.
Okay,
which, you know, maybe a deeper ratio, taller lift, you know.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, you know, market wise, like, is that really a big market?
Is it going to be worth it? Yeah.
Yeah. Like the reason that people use junkyard axles is to save money. Do they then want to throw $15,000 on top of it?
I would argue that there is more rigs on the Rubicon with Dana 60s than any other axle.
I agree, but those are already set up rigs. They'd have to ungear potentially. Well, maybe not. I mean, it depends, but you know,
I think a lot of them are trailered rigs. So
true, but
I don't think they'd have to.
But if they're going from a 40-inch with a 40-inch tire and the Dana 60, they're thinking maybe a 44-inch tire, a 43-inch tire. And again, that goes down to, oh, okay, are these going to survive that? I don't know. So, yeah, that's really the answer is we're kind of scared with our existing portals to go down that road and look like it's a weak design because a bunch of crazy people with 500-600 horsepower and 43-inch stickies blow them up.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, of course they'll blow up. Like they were designed for a freaking stock Jeep.
Right? Yeah.
So that being said, we do have a couple of 392 customers.
Okay.
That are, one guy especially is very aggressively trying to blow up the portals. So yeah, he does burnouts with them. He jumps it all the time and he drives it daily, to work 100-mile round trip.
Jeez.
Yeah. So he got them in February and already has like 14,000 miles on his portals.
What?
Dang.
40-inch tires on his
in February?
Yeah.
Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
May. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's impressive.
he's like, yeah, I think I'm going to buy some 42-inch tires. And I'm like, okay, man.
Hey, if he's willing to do the R&D for you and you can kind of work with him on it.
Exactly.
And,
so, yeah. And with the early adopters, we didn't really set like a tire size limit or anything. We're just like,
see if you can break them. Let us know.
Go nuts. You know?
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm excited. I think it's a really cool idea that you guys have figured out for portals, a really neat way to implement them on vehicles.
Yep.
And I love hearing about all the stress testing and R&D stories that you come up with. So
yeah. I mean, actually another good one was when I was on the Rubicon 3 days ago on Saturday and my power steering pump went out. And so we're like, it wasn't out. It was just leaking really bad. And so I had to jam to get out of there because I only had so much power steering fluid and I didn't want to completely burn out the pump. And I went from, the cell phone tree, which is like 2.5 miles in, something like that, to Loon in like 45 minutes, which
that's pretty good.
I was ripping. I mean, there's sections where I was going like 10 miles an hour through, like, you know, it's like, that's really fast. And I had to pull over and re-top off the fluid a couple times, you know? So it was,
I think Jimmy and I average into Spider about an hour 15 if we're on our own kind of thing.
Yeah.
No group. So
about right.
That sounds about the same pace that we'd be going through there. So that's a pretty good clock. So
it was,
What were you down to?
11.
Yeah.
So I don't have beadlock. So,
okay.
But my Jeep is now pretty well set up. It's got metal cloak control arms. It's got Fox 2.5 shocks and the 40s and the whatever. Yeah. So that thing's pretty nasty now.
All right. Nice.
Cool. All right. Well, awesome, man. Keep doing the good stuff out there with Portal Pros. We always love hearing the stories. So once you get another application, some more stories coming in, we'll definitely get you back on. Listeners love hearing about it too. So we'll be looking forward to the next time you come around. How can people follow along with all this stuff you guys are doing?
Yeah, the best way is on Instagram, Portal_Pros, or YouTube, same thing, Portal_Pros. We do also have a newsletter if you're into that.
Okay.
We do a monthly newsletter, and it's me writing it, not AI.
Okay.
And we've been doing like featuring our customer rigs, so you could show. And
cool.
It's been really cool seeing the customer rigs. And I'll have to show you guys some pictures. Like there's this one guy that's in Hawaii that's got a Gladiator. It's fully stock except for the portals and 37s. It looks so sick. I mean, it is just like, oh, that's what a Gladiator is supposed to be from the factory.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been cool seeing all this stuff. But yeah, those are the main ways to get in contact with us.
Sweet. Awesome. Jimmy, how can people get in contact with us?
Yeah. If you have any questions, you can always reach out. SnailTrail4x4 on Instagram, or 4x4 Toyota Tyler on Instagram, or you can email us, Jimmy or Tyler, at SnailTrail4x4.com. Or you can call in and maybe we can get Scott back on the horn here on the snail mail episodes, 916-345-4744.
Sweet. I like it. Final words to wrap up the show. We'll start with Jimmy. He's a little used to it.
Yeah.
What you got?
I'm curious to hear about the Toyota stuff. I'm super excited for it. I know we've talked about it multiple times. I'm always thinking about adding something like that to my rig. And I actually think I would lower my suspension that I have on my Tacoma right now and go to portals. I think that would be a sweet, like, I don't know, it would be like incognito, stealthy little, amazing wheeler that I think people wouldn't know what it was. And then they'd like seriously go, wait, there's something different about that one. And I think it would be rad.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's get ready, everybody, for the Toyota stuff coming. I think it's going to be a big splash in the market.
I agree. Scott, any final words for everybody out there?
I need a new power steering pump.
We know a buddy over at Radial Dynamics. We'll get you in contact with.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that does it for today's show. Thank you so much, Scott, for coming on. Thanks, Jimmy. Everybody out there, thank you for listening and watching. And don't forget, keep crawling.
Well, I got a joke.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you guys know what the difference is between a good joke and a bad joke? Timing.
That's like,
You're an idiot.
like it's like Borat. Suit is black.
No. The suit is black. Not.